This is the Sabbat Vooplay, a open ear style, truly wireless earphone that comes in at around $70. Now, typically, I'll kind of gravitate towards an in-ear style as opposed to an open ear style because of sound. However, I have to say, the Vooplay surprised me in ways I did not expect. So let's look a little bit closer at the Sabbat Vooplay. This is Audio In Reviews. Okay, let's talk about the specifications, design, isolation, and comfort of the Sabbat Vooplay. We'll go over the case first. The case is wrapped in a faux leather, and it is soft to the touch. On the outside, it actually feels like leather. The case itself is a hard plastic, so it feels quite robust and protective. On the back, we have a Type-C connector, and it does come with a Type-C cable as well. The case is magnetic, so when it's closed, it feels quite secure. And of course, when you open it up, you are greeted with these beautifully designed earbuds. You have 4 LED indicators at the bottom here that tell you the charge level of the case itself. It is a charging case. The case, it only had one light lit up, so that means it's low. Of course, when all 4 are lit, that means it's fully charged. When you remove the earbuds, as long as you have your Bluetooth on and paired with these, they will connect automatically to whatever device you have them paired with. The earbuds themselves have an LED indicator on the bottom here that indicates the connection status. It's not showing, not lighting up right now, but that shows the connection status of the earbud itself. Of course, we have the left and right indicators on the insides of the earbud and the charging contacts. So these are an open ear style earbud, as you can see. So of course there's no tips included in the case. The outside here on the faceplate, you have not touch controls but a button control. So this controls pause, play. You can skip forward, skip back, and even volume control on these. These do have independent operation, so you can use one earbud at a time if you'd like. It has 3 different codecs. It has aptics, AAC, and SBC. I did not experience any kind of latency when I was listening to music or watching videos. I did not try playing video games with it, but I imagine they probably do okay even with video games. Probably not competitive game playing, but just casual playing, I'm sure they would be fine. The driver is a 14.2 millimeter dynamic driver, so that's quite large for these. And as far as battery life, these will give you about 5.5 or 6 hours of playtime when the earbuds themselves are full. The case will give you a total of about 40 hours of playtime, which is really impressive. I think that's just really, really cool. So as far as the fit, these are not the most comfortable, at least for me. I've of course tried the old Apple AirPods when those first came out, and I've always had, with this style, I've always had comfort issues. They're not horrible. I mean, I can listen for about a half hour, and if I don't mess with them too much, I don't really experience any discomfort. But beyond the half hour point, I can start to feel a little bit of discomfort on the outside of my ear canal. It's not terrible though. It's just not my preferred my preferred choice as far as earbud style. So of course, isolation is, I don't think these were designed for isolation, so that isolation is not that good. When I'm listening to music, as long as I'm not in a loud environment, there's nothing distracting or anything. But I think that there are those types of people who like this design. They don't like the idea of having their ears completely plugged. So I get it. So But so isolation is not the greatest on these. As a matter of fact, when I was listening to music at medium volumes, my wife was walking by and I could actually hear her walking by. But that's okay. Again, I don't think these were designed to have really good isolation. So I think that covers everything as far as the specifications, design, fit, and isolation. So let's move on to the sound. Okay, so let's talk about the sound of the Sabbat Vooplay. We'll start with the overall sound signature. We'll talk about sub bass, bass, mids, and treble, then we'll go into soundstage. Now, I have to admit going into this that I did have my preconceptions about the sound of these, and in some respects I was right, in some respects I was wrong. Now, the overall sound signature of the Vooplay is what I would consider mid, forward, and warm. And that's kind of what I expected. Now, we'll start with the sub bass. We all know that generally with this open ear style earbud, sub bass is not always super present. So if you're a bass head and you're looking for bass, this is probably not the style for you. Now, and we all know that with a typical in-ear monitor, when you push it in and you have an ear tip on it, the in-ear style IEM, when you push it in, you get that good seal. That is in large part responsible for producing that bass. And you know when you lose that seal, you lose a lot of your bass. So that being said, with this style, you're not going to get a seal like this. So the bass, the 14 millimeter driver in these is having to work really hard to get that sub bass and bass pushed into your ear canal and to your eardrum. So that is what I would say this style probably suffers from the most, is that lack of sub bass and bass. Now, that being said, this particular set does do a pretty good job with this. There is a pretty decent amount of bass presence, not a whole lot of sub bass, but there is bass presence, and again, definitely have that mid bass, so you have that good punch, and there's even a little bit of detail and layering in there. So I would say again, if you're a bass head, this probably isn't the IEM for you, but these do a pretty good job for the open ear style. So moving from the bass into the mids, again, these have a mid-forward tuning. So any instruments, vocals are going to kind of be pushed forward in these earphones. Now, male vocals sounded nice and deep, warm. They had good textures. Female vocals were a little less forward than male vocals, but they also sounded very nice. The trumpets, pianos, guitars sounded very good with these. Moving from the mids into the treble, again, since this is a mid-forward tuning, you're not going to have a whole lot of treble presence, especially the higher treble frequencies. You're not going to have a lot of air or sparkle. Now, where these do well is with the lower treble. So cymbals sound nice and natural. The hi-hats still have sizzle. Snares have good attack. You still have that breathy kind of sound in female vocals. So they're not a bright IEM by any means, but they're still pretty decent treble presence. Now, moving into the soundstage and imaging, that's where I was really impressed with these. I was listening to the live recording of Hotel California. That's a great reference for me for imaging and soundstage. That has a wide soundstage. These represented that soundstage quite well. It was a very wide presentation on these. And imaging was also very good with these. So the percussion at the beginning seemed very accurately placed with these. Now there's another recording I listened to, Jazz at the Pawn Shop, that has a more intimate presentation. It was a smaller venue and the microphones were placed kind of close together. So these also represent a intimate soundstage quite well also. And instrument placement, the drums were where they should be on the stage, the piano was right where it should be, and everything seemed quite focused. So these did a great job with soundstage and imaging. So overall, for the $70 price, I think Sabbat put out a really good product here. When you consider the really cool design, good battery life, ease of use, and overall good sound, I think this is a really good value. Even though it doesn't quite have the bass presence I wish it would have, it still does a good job with the bass. So great job, Sabbat. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe, like, and share this video. Have a great day.